for Central Florida. This is News Channel 2, First at 5.
The ride to school comes to a crashing halt for some local students. Who is at fault? We'll investigate First at 5.
Police were trying to catch up with their man, but an innocent bystander happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time, and the results were deadly.
A state politician loses control on camera after a reporter asks a touchy question.
And there's a campaign to slim down America. Do you want to get on board? More First at 5. Good evening, I'm Wendy Chioji.
And I'm Terry Sater, in for John O'Connor. This is News Channel 2, First at 5. When you see the pictures, you'll wonder how the driver could have survived. A car rammed a busload of elementary school students today.
Investigators believe the car was going at least 35 miles an hour when it rear-ended the bus on a rural road in Marion County. Emergency crews had to use the jaws of life to free the car's driver, who was trapped for nearly 30 minutes. News Channel 2 was first on the scene. Here's Stephen Stock.
Because she screamed, she couldn't stop. She couldn't stop.
Shawn Pope was standing with her 6 children waiting to board the stopped school bus shortly after 8:30 when suddenly her fears of an accident along this stretch of highway happened right before her very eyes.
And I had just stepped out to the road further to check the road both ways. The one way was clear. I checked this way, and that's when I seen the red car coming down the road. I say 45 miles an hour, and it never seen the bus stop. Then it looked like it was going to try to swerve on the right-hand side, and it didn't make it. But
investigators say 27-year-old Maria Horton, driving a 1995 Geo, hit the back of the stopped school bus going at least 35 miles an hour.
Sounded like a door closing.
Witnesses say the bus was completely stopped, its lights and signs all operating. There was no significant fog and the road was straight here. Few skid marks at the scene lead investigators to believe that Horton made little attempts to stop, apparently because she did not see the bus until it was too late.
It scares me. It pisses me off bad.
Parents of the children are angry at the speed and apparent lack of attention of many drivers who pass through here. This time, however, everyone was lucky. The 28 children on board the bus were not hurt and were whisked off to school at Shady Hill Elementary, even before Horton was extracted from the wreckage where she had been trapped for more than a half hour.
Thank God there were no injuries other than the woman who got hurt, and that's a sad thing, too.
Now, school bus driver Cheryl Pulliam was also unhurt. The Highway Patrol and eyewitnesses at the scene credit Pulliam, saying she did nothing wrong, did everything according to the rules and everything right as far as they were concerned. However, charges are pending against the car's driver, Maria Horton, as she recovers at Monroe Regional Medical Center, suffering from broken bones, cuts, and bruises. Reporting live from Marion County, I'm Stephen Stock, News Channel 2.
Thanks, Stephen. Here are more details of the crash now. The driver of the car is identified as Maria Horton. Tonight she is in surgery, listed in stable condition. The school board is still investigating the accident, but preliminary results show that the bus driver was not at fault. Another school bus accident, this one in Kentucky. 24 children were sent to the hospital this morning after their bus crashed into a van. One witness says the van was sitting idle on an exit ramp when the bus slammed into its side. No one was seriously hurt.
An update on a breaking news story. A boat caught fire off our coast, prompting a dramatic rescue. You're looking at video. You're going to see it here, taken from Chopper 2. The flames ended up burning the boat to the waterline, but someone on the beach first saw the fire and called the Coast Guard. 3 people on the burning boat were rescued by other boaters who saw their peril. Sebastian towboats doused the flames and towed the boat to the Sebastian area. Thankfully, no one was hurt.
A Melbourne man who was on his way to get a morning cup of coffee in a newspaper became an innocent victim of a high-speed chase.
A suspect's fleeing car hit the man's motorcycle head-on. News Channel 2's Dan Billow brings us a live report from our Brevard County newsroom. Dan.
Terry, the suspect's car hit the innocent man's motorcycle with a tremendous crash at about 100 miles an hour. The motorcycle was thrown 400 feet from the point of impact. Here's what happened. Deputies say a man was trying to force his way into a motel. The manager called the sheriff's office. The suspect took off when a deputy arrived. The chase lasted about 3 miles before the car ran into the motorcycle. One man has been arrested, another still at large. Coming up all new at 6, we'll look into whether the pursuing deputy was following the sheriff's pursuit policy, and we'll bring you what the victim's close friends have to say. We're live in the Brevard County newsroom. Dan Billow, News Channel 2.
All right, thanks, Dan.
Police say the bad guys may have distracted officers so they could rip off an Orange County bank late this morning. 2 suspects entered the Bank of Central Florida in a pop-up, pulled guns, and demanded money. One man had a sawed-off shotgun. Customers were forced to lie down while the men got the cash. Apopka police say the suspects may have used a diversion to make sure officers wouldn't be around at the time of the robbery.
There is a possibility we were also working another incident at a local area elementary school at the time this went down shortly thereafter.
Bomb threat?
Yes.
The suspects were wearing masks, so their descriptions aren't very good. Police found the stolen getaway car in Pine Hills.
There's new information tonight in the case of a 7-year-old boy who brought a gun into a public school classroom. We're told no charges will be filed against the child's adult relatives who own the gun. The boy's parents are out of town, and he apparently used a chair to climb up and reach the gun atop a high cabinet. Because the adults had the gun out of the way, they won't face any charges under Florida's Kids and Guns law. A teenage girl is in big trouble tonight for allegedly attacking 2 jail guards.
16-year-old Dominica Cotton was arrested for assault. When she threatened to kill herself, jail guards went to check on her and gave her a special uniform so she couldn't hurt herself. The guards say she kicked one of them in the groin. The other guard lost some of her hair in the melee that followed. Cotton is now charged with battery on a law enforcement officer.
Well, it was another beautiful day in paradise when it came to the weather today.
I'll say.
Let's get the latest now from Dave Marsh. Dave?
Yes, if it's good news you want, of course, you have to come to the weather department the last few days, and it has been great weather, and it's going to be that way for the rest of this week, into the weekend, and maybe even the first part of next week. If there's any rainfall around, it's just going to be almost insignificant. The cloud tracker, of course, keeps its eyes open, see what's passing over central Florida, and it's very few clouds, a lot of blue sky, and that's the way it's been for the entire state of Florida and even the southeastern United States. High pressure has been building over the state, moved a little bit further to the south, but nonetheless has not relinquished control over Florida, and it will continue that way. We do see a little more cloud cover up in southern Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, into southeast Louisiana. Maybe some rainfall showing up around Mississippi, Louisiana within the next 24 hours. But again, that will not be much. You can see all of the south there, east there, nothing but sunshine, and it is not cold yet. That will change, however, by the weekend. The temperatures will be dipping slightly, but not a great deal. So if you're traveling northward, you really have to go up into the northern tier of states to really get a cold blast in that region. So all is quiet around the country today. Still some snow up in the upper Great Lakes region. That has been very light. And out west, even they have been showing some clearing. I think the next rain area will be in the southwest, again, New Mexico, Arizona, eventually into Texas, but not until the end of the weekend. So it's looking pretty good for us, and all we have to do is remember back to the bad times. We're finally getting some good times across central Florida. And I'll have more weather later in the newscast. Here's Wendy and Terry.
All right, thanks, Dave. Well, rush hour got off to a bad start for a truck driver and thousands of other drivers. Take a look at this mess. A dump truck flipped over at Lake Mary Boulevard and Country Club this morning. The driver escaped with minor injuries, but he dumped premixed concrete and diesel fuel all over the pavements. The hazmat team was called in. There was a massive slowdown and a major headache for commuters. The driver says his brakes failed, and rather than hit the car in front of him, he veered into the median, then flipped.
Scary faces, witches, cats, and bats. Jack-o'-lantern faces take on all different kinds of looks this time of year.
This is one of the masterpieces done by Karen Donahue of Peru, New York, using small carvers. You see her working there. She took a request and, well, you recognize it? She carved the NBC peacock.
Pretty good. Well, this Halloween gathering will leave you howling. We'll explain what's going on with these local pooches first at 5.
There is a dark side to Halloween fun. Tonight, we'll show you a city bracing for Devil's Night.
What do you think of the expressway? Users speak out. I'm Ed Highland. I'll have that story coming up on News Channel 2.
Can we really trust liberal Democrat John Byron? In a recent negative campaign ad, Byron claimed Dave Weldon voted to cut Medicare. Not true, and Byron knows it. Because on October 12th, Byron credited Dave Weldon with voting to increase Medicare benefits by nearly 7% a year. First, Byron admits Dave Weldon voted to increase Medicare benefits, then runs a negative ad falsely claiming Dave Weldon supported cuts. If John Byron is willing to be untruthful on an issue as important as Medicare, how can we trust him on anything else?
I've got just 10 seconds to tell you that Fred Bondus in Indeland is Florida's only factory-authorized discount outlet for Chevy, O's, Cadillac, Geo, and Chevy trucks. Fred Bondus in Indeland. Whew. Just look at all these cars and trucks.
New carpet for the holidays? Yes, you can. New York Carpet World makes it possible with this amazing free credit offer. No payments till $19.98. New carpet for the holidays? Yes, you can. Hundreds of carpets drastically reduced. Beautiful wear-dated carpets, every one 50% off. And no payments for over a year. No payments in 96, none in 97, no payments till $19.98. New carpet for the holidays? Yes, you can. Get to New York Carpet World by Saturday night.
Here at the Florida Lotto Jackpot Warehouse, we're shipping out millions every week. It keeps us pretty busy. We're stocked to the rafters with 10s, 20s, 50s, and we just got some fresh $100 bills. We'd love to bring you a jackpot. All you have to do is play Florida Lotto and win. No obligation, no salesman will call. But if you want to win now, you've got to play now. And if you win, we'll deliver your jackpot in easy payments. I guarantee it. Don't delay. Play today.
Congressman Weldon finally woke up in Washington, but it was to attack John Byron. Here's what the newspapers are saying. Weldon appears to be in over his head in the U.S. Congress. Happily, the people of the 15th District don't have to settle for a Gingrich follower anymore. The better choice? John Byron. John Byron has the grit and guts to make a positive difference in Washington for the people of the Space Coast. The 15th District needs a leader with a commanding sense of direction, a balanced outlook, and a degree of independence. John Byron.
This program is closed captioned as a public service of Gooding Supermarket.
Now it's time to get a look at the traffic outside.
Let's see what Donna Morehouse has to say. Donna?
Thanks, Terry. It's pretty busy this afternoon. Down on the south end of town, there's a wreck on Sand Lake Road. It's eastbound just east of John Young Parkway. Now, the right lane is blocked, and it's really tying things up for folks. Colonial Drive eastbound, no fun either. You'll find delays from before 436 all the way out to Goldenrod. Let's take a look at I-4 from the News Channel 2 Sky Tower. It is bumper to bumper, but only from Ivanhoe to Lee. Westbound I-4, just a minor tap of the brakes approaching 408. I'm Donna Morehouse, News Channel 2.
Donna, we know you don't have a cold. It was just your microphone.
I think so. I was playing with wires while I was talking. Sorry about that.
Okay, thanks.
Bye-bye.
Well, a candidate for Florida State Senate is making headlines for all the wrong reasons. Andy Martin agreed to an interview at a TV station in West Palm Beach, but during the interview, Martin decided he didn't want to be on camera. He attacked two photographers before he was physically restrained and calmed down. The state Republican Party has officially renounced Martin's candidacy.
Ask yourself, would you be interested in buying the condo where Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman were murdered? It's a memory that haunts the Brown family. Her condo is proving to be nearly impossible to sell. So, after 2 years with no serious offers, her home is going up for auction. The family hopes to get $500,000. For $25, anybody will be allowed to inspect the condo during weekend tours next month.
In news around the world tonight, an apartment collapse killed dozens of people in Egypt.
25 are dead, but as many as 150 could still be under the rubble of the ruins of the building. 25 people have been pulled out alive, and searchers are still at it. Yesterday, reports were that one survivor, 18-year-old Samantha Miksh, was an American. She's actually from Australia.
Rwanda's vice president admits his troops have taken their tribal war across the border into Zaire. He says even though they have shelled Zairean army posts, the countries are not at war. Almost 500,000 refugees have fled Rwanda to Zaire to escape the fighting.
Consider it an olive branch, a show of support for peace efforts in the Middle East. A U.S. representative paid his respects today to the Palestinian family of a slain 10-year-old boy. It's alleged Hilmi Shosha was throwing rocks at cars and then was hit on the head with a pistol by an Israeli security officer.
They say evidence that American soldiers were exposed to dangerous chemicals in the Gulf War is overwhelming. Two former CIA workers say the troops were exposed to chemical weapons as many as 60 times. The CIA denies the claim, but is acting on two specific incidents. Starting tomorrow, the Pentagon will send letters to 20,000 Gulf War veterans. The letter asks the soldiers for health information.
Former Surgeon General C. Everett Koop has launched an attack on the fat of the land. He's heading a campaign to slim down America and make it healthier. Koop says obesity and related conditions are the second cause of death in the United States, resulting in about 300,000 lives lost each year. The former Surgeon General wants Americans, and especially doctors, to start taking obesity more seriously. When it comes to life in the fast lane, the Expressway Authority doesn't think enough people are living it.
They're searching for ways to get more people to use the E-Pass electronic sensor system. Ed Highland reports the name of the game is moving everyone along a little quicker.
The expressway system snakes across central Florida, moving thousands of cars each day and raking in $83 million a year in tolls. But this is one big business that would like to see more customers say, charge it. There are three ways to pay your tolls, but the first two options involve slowing down or stopping to exchange the money. That's why the Expressway Authority would like you to choose option E for E-Pass.
Turn this over to Joe Barron.
The authority today heard the results of a survey which shows most people like E-Pass, but not enough are using it.
We're currently running about 25% of our 24-hour period customer base is using E-Pass, so about 1 in 4 customers. We think that we can get that number up to about half or 50%.
What will it take to move more people faster? We did our own survey on getting E-Pass.
I don't travel the expressway enough to use it.
I live all the way by Cypress Gardens, and I go all the way out here to school, so it's a thing I need to get into, but it's just being lazy, I guess.
On life since the advent of E-Pass.
That's a lot better than it was a year ago.
And what about those tolls?
It's all right, 50 cents. Yeah. If they put it more expensive, I'm gonna be mad.
Customer has spoken. In Orlando, Ed Highland, News Channel 2.
The E-Pass lanes expedite the toll process, but some people are expediting a little too quickly. The posted speed limit is 25 miles an hour. The Expressway Authority is trying to figure out how to slow drivers down and is looking at software that'll clock cars and ticket violators.
A man arrested 2 months ago still has not been charged by the Seminole County State Attorney's Office. Cody Smith has denied the accusation all along. Police say he tried to snatch a girl from her bus stop near Geneva. News Channel 2 received inaccurate information yesterday that Smith had been charged and that he had filed a plea of not guilty. Smith certainly maintains his innocence, but since he has not been formally charged, he hasn't had a chance to deny the accusation in court. The state attorney is still reviewing the case. News Channel 2 regrets the error. Well, if you're a dog lover, these trick-or-treating pooches will steal your heart.
And no Halloween candy will top this dressy treat. We'll explain when News Channel 2 returns.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sandy Newton for NBC Primetime tonight. Well, folks, this is big. You're not going to want to miss it. Tonight, Rob Schneider, Ron Eldard, and Justine Bateman, the stars of the new hit series, Men Behaving Badly, will be your ghostly guides to must-scream TV. First, it's a frightful new Wings. Has Brian taken Halloween too far?
By the way, happy Halloween.
Is it Halloween already?
After an all-new Larroquette, News Radio takes on a frightening look when Dave shows up in drag. And it's an all-new Men Behaving Badly. They aren't called the bad boys of NBC for nothing. Plus, on a powerful new Law and Order, Curtis won't lie, even if it means risking his partner's entire career and ruining his life.
Is there anyone who can corroborate your account?
No.
Keep it here for a special Must-Scream TV Wednesday, all on NBC Primetime tonight.
We don't want to spoil your next trip, but the hotel room you stay in may not be as clean as it looks. In fact, what you can't see with your naked eye can be downright disturbing. News Channel 2 put Orlando hotels to the test, and after you see our report, you may never want to leave home again. Dirty Hotels, Thursday at 11 on News Channel 2.
If you're tired of driving from car dealer to car dealer, trying to get the best price on the car you want, pick the Plex. Plaza Autoplex, your regional automotive discount center, close by in Leesburg. More cars and more savings in one location than anywhere in the area. Choose from over 750 Toyotas, Jeeps, Eagles, Cadillacs, Lincolns, Mercurys, and Mazdas. All at the lowest price, guaranteed. Plaza Autoplex in Leesburg. Just up the road a bit. You'll save a lot.
I remember a time when I didn't have to hurry home to live behind locked doors, and when I didn't have to worry about my grandchildren getting home safe from school. Then the criminals took over. Thankfully, the Republicans in the Florida Senate are making violent criminals spend at least 85% of their sentences behind bars. Finally, someone is trying to make our streets safer and our lives better. Republicans in the Florida Senate.
It's sad. All Bob Dole offers are negative attacks. President Clinton appointed a 4-star general drug czar, expanded school anti-drug programs. Dole tried to slash school anti-drug programs 50%, voted against creating a drug czar. President Clinton is protecting our children. Break up violent gangs, drug test teens before getting a driver's license, curfews and school uniforms to instill discipline. All Bob Dole offers are negative attacks. President Clinton is protecting our children, our values.
While neighbors run for their lives, this guy grabs his camera and captures the explosion that rocks his block on real TV.
Tonight at 7:30 on Channel 2.
An army invaded New York City today. That's how many people it took to clean up the Yankees ticker tape parade. Workers used brooms, leaf blowers, and some heavy-duty machines to pick up the tons of trash. Get this, a burning cigarette set fire to some of the mess, but firefighters thankfully quickly put it out.
Hopefully they can recycle some of that ticker tape.
That's a good idea.
I think so.
Yeah. Well, each trick-or-treater loves to dig through that bag of candy. And now it looks like in some areas of the country, they'll have to dig through snow as well.
Folks in Steamboat Springs, Colorado, woke up to 13 inches of the white stuff. Don't tell Mother Nature it's too early to be shoveling snow. Coloradans will have to trade their mountain bikes and golf clubs for snow blowers and skis. Children here will have to hide their Halloween costumes under coats.
The only part of that story Dave cared about was the candy part.
Yeah, that's right. That's terrible snow, by the way. That's really wet, heavy snow there, and that's the kind I'm sure they don't want to. They like to see the powder,
That's the toughest to shovel, you're right.
You should have heard him snickering when the guy pulled the paper out from underneath the snow.
That's right. Well, obviously we don't have that problem down here, and I wanted to be as brief as I can with the weather because we have a fashion story coming up. Is that right?
You want to see,
Okay. Stay tuned. Let's get weathered here. Overnight tonight, another one like last night, and the night before, clear sky. Low temperature in the morning, 68, so that is a bit higher than it has been. The winds will be light and variable, and just a few clouds over central Florida that we saw on the cloud tracker earlier. The satellite coverage for the southeast, a little bit of low cloudiness from southern Georgia into Alabama, the Florida Panhandle, down into New Orleans, Lake Pontchartrain in that region. Of course, that is not moving into central Florida, and there's just nothing happening down here. The live Super Doppler to radar, still scanning. We keep our eyes open here to see what may be brewing, but it's been a quiet week. It will continue to be that way. We are not detecting anything at this time. Well, the rest of our current conditions, it's very nice. Still very warm, a little bit too warm for me. Daytona Beach, 82. Orlando at 84, humidity at 59%. Ocala, that's at 82. Melbourne, 81. Wind, look at this, west at 8 in Ocala, Melbourne, east at 8. So when you have light winds like that, that direction will be bouncing around considerably. Let's look nationwide. Now, we've seen very few clouds down in the southeast, but very few clouds up north, except around the Great Lakes and the northeastern section of the country, and also out west there. Now, this is nothing major, but that moisture is coming into California, where they continue to have rainfall throughout that region of the country. So it's a slow process of getting it out. It will hang in there in the northeastern section of the country, and out west we'll see this eventually move into the southwest, and there'll be some action down there, some rain, but it should not be heavy. A couple of low-pressure systems, not very strong. This one is going to move out of the area, another one moving into the southwest, and a weak front over North Florida. Not going to change our weather much at all. So this is the way it's going to be. If you want change, this is not the time of the year it's going to happen. Mostly sunny, high of 86 degrees. Tomorrow, that's unseasonably warm, and the winds will be northwest at 10 miles per hour. You would think that in the end of October, with a northwesterly wind, it would get cold, but that's obviously not going to happen. That's enough. Let's get on with the facts.
I can't wait for this story.
Okay. Well, I can see, Dave, you're no longer looking for a Halloween costume. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I had to say
Yeah, I know it was coming.
For those of you who are still looking for a Halloween costume, here are some sweet ideas.
No ballerinas or princesses in this crowd. The world's top models are dressed to the nines for their latest fashion show in chocolate. That was chocolate. Designers cooked up 5 of these dresses with 60 pounds of cocoa.
That's hot chocolate, right? Yeah.
Hot chocolate. Very good. Hot
Dave
chocolate.
loved that story. Well, Halloween came a day early for Spot, Fido, and other dogs looking for homes. They got treats from a couple of costume friends. Now, the dog there, I guess that's Spuds, the dog and the clown treated animals in Winter Garden, Orange County, until finally visiting the Humane Society of Seminole County. They also donated much-needed food to the shelters. A new wireless communication service is moving to Central Florida, and they wanted to communicate friendship to man's best friend. Some neighbors are really scary, and they're not even trying. But there's a guy in Fullerton, California, who goes all out this time of year. Russell Miller says it takes him a couple of months to decorate his house with ghouls and goblins for Halloween. Miller's yard is filled with large mannequins dressed as various creatures of the night. Some stiff as a board, others ready to hunt.
Devil's Night is tonight in Detroit, and residents there are organizing an effort to keep the peace by patrolling the city and keeping a watch out for arsonists. Susan Wangler has details.
In southwest Detroit, you can't help but notice the police presence, the volunteers on patrol, and, oh yes, well, you can't help but notice southwest Detroiters are talking about the rival gang pact for peace this Devil's Night.
I'm happy to see it. I'm happy to see it. I've been down here. I've been a product of this southwest side of Detroit since 1963, and for the first time, I'm starting to see some people come together.
And for the first time, 6 rival gangs met face-to-face at St. Anne's Church. They shook hands and vowed to call a truce.
Gentlemen, do we all agree on this term?
Yep.
The terms for a truce on their home turf, the gangs agreed to end the violence and the arson.
It ain't worth it no more. It just ain't worth it for the young kids. They don't need to be going through what we went through and what we are going through today. We're going to keep this peace for this 3 days. I think it's good. Like you said, the younger kids don't need to go through what we went through. And, you know, we're going to keep the peace.
The rival gang members say their truce is not only to stop the violence. During the next 3 days, they plan to help police and volunteers to stamp out arson on Devil's Night. So that means for the first time in southwest Detroit, the gangs many say cause Devil's Night problems want to be a part of the solution to make the streets safe. Detroit's top cop says he likes what he hears, and you can't help but notice, so too do the people who call southwest Detroit their home.
Thank goodness we don't have to worry about trouble like that.
Yeah, what a strange combination of gangs working with the police like that.
It's a nice change.
Yeah, it is.
Well, has a controversial witness relocation program put Central Florida in danger?
Now the governor is demanding changes. Find out how all of that affects you. All new at 5:30. Thanks.
Detectives in Orange County do their best to unwrap a murder mystery. I'm Greg Fox. That story coming up on News Channel 2.
4 facts you should know about Amendment 4. 1, it's a $1 billion tax increase. 2, the billion will be spent by the South Florida Water Management District, bureaucrats who waste money. 3, it's like the lottery, a ripoff. 4, it's a tax, not a fee, and you'll pay. Amendment 4, it's a billion, it's a waste, it's like the lottery, it's a tax you'll pay. Vote no on Amendment 4.
What else is so rare, so naturally brilliant, so exquisitely pure, that it can capture the light of your love? This year, give her the diamond that will take her breath away.
Bryant dealer to the rescue and get Bryant's Plus 90i, the most totally efficient gas furnace. It can lower heating bills up to 40%. Call Bryant to the rescue. 1-800-HOT-SAVE.
My daughter Polly was only 12 years old. She had her whole life in front of her. But a criminal who shouldn't have been out on parole kidnapped her and took it all away. President Clinton forced Congress to pass his tough crime bill, life in prison for dangerous repeat offenders, and expanded death penalty. I hear people question the president's character and integrity. It's just politics. When it came to protecting children, the president had the courage to make a difference.
Live for Central Florida, this is News Channel 2 at 5:30.
And good evening, I'm Tom Shad.
And I'm Andrea Coudrier. Our top story at 5:30, new information tonight on that murder mystery in Orange County.
Within the past hour, detectives confirmed that the woman found dead in her apartment closet last night was sexually assaulted. As New Channel 2's Greg Fox reports, this most recent finding has nearby residents wondering about their own safety.
Just who was it that climbed the steps to this apartment and murdered the woman inside? Detectives were back at the Outrigger Apartments, tracking down clues to the killer. The search began Tuesday night from the dumpster where the victim was seen disposing of her trash to the closet of her home where her boyfriend discovered her body, fully clothed. She's identified as 39-year-old Grace Minarchik. a Polish national living and working in this country the past 4 years, working at her boyfriend's shuttle bus company. So far, detectives say he's cooperating and has alibis for his whereabouts.
From everything that we're learning about her now, it could be construed as an innocent victim, victimized in her own house or apartment, and
maybe even a home invasion.
We really don't know.
Through the door of the woman's apartment, you can see no apparent signs of a struggle, just clothing on the floor. Minarchik was last seen alive by neighbors at the laundry. The mood at the Outrigger Apartments is one of caution, one of apprehension, with detectives finding more and more evidence that points to the possibility of a random act of violence. Neighbors are understandably worried.
It scares me a lot. I have 2 teenage daughters at home, and I also live on a ground floor, and I was hoping that it would be somebody that she knows, so that it's not somebody random and somebody stalking the neighborhood.
I would rather hear that it was a suicide than I would that it was a murder, because that's gonna upset me bad, you know, and here I am living here by myself.
If this truly is a random crime, they're counting on investigators to quickly catch the killer. In Orange County, Greg Fox, News Channel 2.
And if you have any information in this case, you're asked to call Crime Line. The number is 1-800-423-TIPS or 407-423-TIPS. Well, they protect the president, a 24-hour job, a tough task for the Secret Service, but some agents found protecting their wallets even tougher.
3 agents assigned to the president's visit to Daytona Beach last week had their wallets and badges ripped off. They had some time off after Mr. Clinton left town, so they went swimming at the beach. While in the water, someone swiped their personal belongings, including hotel keys, money, credit cards, and traveler's checks. The wallets and badges were found a few hours later, but the thief was not. A Central Florida tree trimmer takes a horrible fall and lives. 25-year-old David Butler of Deltona was 50 feet up a pine tree cutting limbs. Investigators say the chainsaw may have cut through Butler's safety harness, sending him tumbling to the ground. He was airlifted to Halifax Medical Center, where he's being evaluated. Butler is listed in stable condition. Some big, hairy spiders are gathering to celebrate Halloween in the city of Fort Pierce.
Tarantulas have multiplied into a potential problem. Dozens of them have been spotted roaming near an orange grove. Agriculture experts think a pregnant spider was someone's pet, just got loose. They say these spiders are not poisonous, but they can grow as big as softballs, packing a powerful sting. Still, these multi-legged creatures are many people's choices for a pet.
This one has never been held in the store by anybody. Some people just like them, and they're becoming very popular too.
Well, popular or not, most people would rather see them in an aquarium and not in the street. The Department of Agriculture plans to spray the burrows over the next 2 weeks.
Students at one Orange County middle school today pledged to stay in school until graduation. It was a fun morning at Carver Middle School. Sponsored by the Orlando Magic and the NBA, the Stay in School program works to keep kids from dropping out. Our own Buddy Pittman, former Magic player Jeff Turner, focused the kids on the importance of a good education. You know, they had a good time.
All right, now let's get the weather in a minute from Chris Castleman in the Super Doppler Storm Center.
Well, Tom, we've had an excellent day around all of Central Florida, much as it has been over the last 24 hours. No significant changes are in sight weather-wise as we head in through the middle and latter parts of the work week. As we go upstairs this afternoon to the cloud tracker, the blue sky evident, as you can see, and there weren't many clouds in the sky, just a few high thin cirrus clouds and some fair weather cumulus clouds roaming about the area. Otherwise, though, we've been pretty much high and dry in terms of moisture now for the past couple of days. Let's move it on to the southeast satellite as we set this into motion. Some low clouds hovering around South Alabama as well as South Mississippi into the Florida Panhandle, specifically from Panama City over to Pensacola. They've had some light showers showing up around the Milton area in the last 45 minutes, but the rain pretty much confined to the southern portions of Alabama as well as Georgia. This in connection with a very weak cold front that's trying to drop southward. Otherwise, though, the eastern two-thirds of the nation looking pretty good. Same holds true for the Midwest and the Ohio Valley. The storm tracker not indicating anything in the way of precipitation as we scan out some 75 miles from Daytona Beach southward to Melbourne. It's been pretty much rain-free throughout the Orlando metropolitan vicinity now for the past 3 days, and we are not anticipating any rain, although we could use some at this stage in the game for the next 4 to 5 days. When I come back, we'll have the complete forecast for tomorrow as well as for the upcoming weekend. Andrea and Tom?
All right, thank you, Chris. Well, Central Florida has become a safe haven for people on the witness relocation program. Now the governor is using his ammunition to change the system. The presidential election's just around the corner, and the candidates are panting to win your vote. At the end of the day, do you wind up feeling frustrated because you haven't accomplished your goals? Dr. Todd Husty tells us how to take our busy lives in stride ahead on News Channel 2.
9% above prime, 7% above prime. Why pay interest rates so high above the prime rate when PMC offers variable rates as low as 0.5% below prime? Pay off costly bills and have one lower monthly payment. Bills now totaling $1,000 a month could drop to $600. PMC approves nearly 90% of completed applications. So whatever your credit history, call 1-800-DIAL-PMC. The right call for a great rate.
Vince Lombardi once said that coaches that can outline plays on a blackboard are a dime a dozen. The ones who win are the ones that get inside their players and motivate. Well, I know all about motivation, and so do the folks at your local Southern Ford dealer.
Hurry in for $500 cash back on the all-new redesigned version of America's best-selling small car, Ford Escort.
Now that's what I call motivation.
See your local Southern Ford dealer for $500 cash back on a new '97 Ford Escort today.
Nicole is a high school junior with short brown hair. She has smoked marijuana since she was 13. She told the New York Times, "Look at Bill Clinton. He smoked marijuana and became president. He said that if he tried it again, he'd inhale."
If you had to do over again, would you inhale?
Sure, if I could. I tried before.
Before you vote, remember, our children have to live with the president we give them.
Oh, it's absolutely scrumptious.
Welcome to Service Merchandise.
Would you let me try the ring on?
Of course.
More people choose to buy diamonds at Service Merchandise than any other fine jewelry store in America.
It is so beautiful.
Like 1-carat solitaire diamond rings on sale for $19.99.
Oh, my dear.
Fine quality diamonds you won't have to be royalty to afford.
So good to see you, Duchess.
Service Merchandise, the jewelry gift and home store worth remembering.
Breaking news in Seminole County now. Somebody opened fire on a driver in Lake Mary this afternoon. The female driver was traveling down Lake Emma Road when the incident happened. Officers are on the scene talking to the woman. She was involved in a domestic dispute earlier in the day. We have crews heading to the scene, and we'll have more details in our 90 minutes of news.
The expectant mother was bruised but otherwise unhurt. Her 8-month-old fetus died in the car wreck. Now it looks like an airbag could have caused the death. If so, it would be the first known case where that has happened. National Transportation Safety officials will release details of the risks of airbags to pregnant women within a week. But safety experts and doctors say airbags can protect more than hurt, especially when used with safety belts.
Well, Florida's governor wants to know more about a controversial new witness relocation program. Since the story surfaced, it's been a flashpoint of controversy within Orlando's Hispanic community.
Here's News Channel 2's Bob Keeling with the story.
Governor Childs calls this letter a memorandum of understanding with Puerto Rico's governor. If the U.S. Commonwealth wants to relocate its witnesses in Florida, authorities here will need pictures, fingerprints, and in some cases even DNA samples of those relocated.
I don't know how many that we're talking about. The way the process was going on is not something we want to see continue.
When the relocation program was unearthed, local authorities expressed outrage that witnesses, and in some cases criminals, were being relocated into Central Florida without the knowledge of local law enforcement. Members of Orlando's Puerto Rican community plan to make a forceful statement on this subject themselves next week. They plan to hold a march beginning here at the arena to protest the negative stereotyping they say is a byproduct of these kind of stories. In a recent news conference, leaders in Orlando's Hispanic community expressed their outrage.
I'm not a drug dealer. I'm not a criminal. But this is the way the other communities see this.
We will be together in this effort, and we will show the rest of the community that we're decent, hardworking people, so that this stops now.
Orlando area authorities hope this letter will help them know who they're getting and what they should know about them. In Orlando, Bob Keeling, News Channel 2.
And there will be a march held this Sunday at noon.
Proof tonight that politics has gone to the dogs. The final presidential debate in Palm Beach County got downright ugly. Uh-oh, that's Ross Perot in the yellow, and Bob Dole is none too happy to see him at the debate, biting a piece of the electoral pie. Bill Clinton got a little aggressive, too, biting down on his Republican opponent. Palm Beach County Animal Control wants us all to remember it's a dog-eat-dog world out there, so don't forget to vote.
And from the University of Central Florida, an utterly ridiculous story tonight. The how now brown cow in this case was fauna, and students were more interested in where than how. Business fraternity Alpha Kappa Psi divided the campus green in the marked squares. For $3, students could guess where fauna would leave her chip. Animal rights protesters called Mupu Bingo a lot of bull, saying it was an undignified way for a group to milk money from the crowd. Well, are you getting bogged down in stress, worried that you're not getting everything done? Worry no more. News Channel 2's Family Doctor is here with some calming tips on handling everyday stress.
Plus, this military artifact is gaining all kinds of attention 50 years after it was declared missing. We'll explain straight ahead.
Nicole is a high school junior with short brown hair. She has smoked marijuana since she was 13. She told the New York Times, "Look at Bill Clinton. He smoked marijuana and became president. He said that if he tried it again, he'd inhale."
If you had to do over again, would you inhale?
Sure, if I could. I tried before.
Before you vote, remember, our children have to live with the president we give them.
Pepsi presents Central Florida's best Halloween street party Thursday, October 31st at Church Street Station.
Hey, it's me, Bill Shaver. Join me and the cast of The Phillips File from Real Radio 104.1 at Church Street Station for the biggest Halloween party in town. I'm hosting the costume contest where you can win $2,000 in cash or a trip on Continental Airlines to the Omni Cancun in Mexico. And you can register to win a 1997 Toyota Camry from your local Toyota dealers. Join me at Church Street Station and let's make this the best Halloween ever.
Wednesday is all new must-stream TV.
Happy Halloween.
Is it Halloween already? Wings is all new.
Wow.
Would I lie to you? There's a special Halloween Lottaket. Then,
tonight, we dance.
The News Radio Costume Party.
Who's the most uptight person in the office?
Dave.
Oh, you think so, do you?
Don't hate me because I'm beautiful.
And men behaving badly. Tricks. Not to mention treats. Sandwich. Plus all new Law and Order. NBC tonight.
Yes, I am wearing your dress.
When America's commitment to educating our children should be number one, Newt Gingrich and Congressman David Weldon voted to make it harder to educate our kids by trying to push through the largest education cuts in American history. $10 billion in student loans, cut. 50,000 teachers, cut. 1 million school children denied basic reading and math. Tell Congressman Weldon those cuts are too deep for our families and to vote to support education for our future.
Well, it affects the majority of Americans. Are you overworked and overwhelmed with stress?
If you feel you don't have enough hours in the day to finish all of your tasks, you're not alone. A national survey by AT&T says a whopping 66% of Americans want to simplify their lives. News Channel 2's Dr. Todd Husty joins us now with some advice because stress can really affect your health, can it?
Oh, absolutely. Stress is indicted in about 80% of what we see as doctors. I mean, it has some effect. It isn't the only effect, but every time you're stressed out, it doesn't make it any better. The best thing to do is to try to stop thinking that you can't change things. You can change things. Prioritize. Figure out what needs to be done and do something about it. The worst stresses of life are those that we let just sort of control us and that we don't do anything about.
Good advice. Well, new research says there may be an easy way to diagnose Alzheimer's disease before its symptoms appear. Research shows victims of Alzheimer's appear to have high levels of a specific protein in their blood. The hope is that a blood test could diagnose the disease before the symptoms strike. Results of the study can be found in the journal Nature Medicine. How early would we know about this, Dr. Husty?
Well, they're actually thinking that they might be able to use this protein to be able to tell if people have Alzheimer's even years beforehand. The other really neat thing about this, if it ends up being true, I mean, they've got to study this a lot, But the other neat thing would be is if you could actually give some medications and try to have some impact on the Alzheimer's, you'd be able to use the protein to tell if you're having a positive impact.
Okay.
Okay, and here's something to remember if you have a baby less than a year old. You should be putting it to bed on his or her back. That's according to the nation's largest group of pediatricians. The group had previously recommended putting babies to sleep on their back or on their side. Now the group says infants who sleep on their side can roll onto their stomach, thus increasing their risk of sudden infant death syndrome. And it's hard to keep an eye on these little ones so often, but I guess you can be very, very careful when you're watching the child.
Well, it seems like, when you have a baby, you set them down. If they're sound asleep, you put them on their back. They have a tendency to stay on their back. I think the problem here is if you lay them on their side, you don't know which way they're going to go. There has been a real correlation between infants that sleep on their bellies and SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome. They think that since 1994, when they first started coming up with the recommendation to lay them on their backs, they've saved 1,500 babies a year. And that's just really, it's an incredible change in our Previously, we were afraid to lay them on their backs because we thought they'd throw up and aspirate. And as it turns out, babies really don't do that very much. And indeed, this other problem, the SIDS, is even more important.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Tallahassee,
Thank you all
for joining us today.
Tomorrow here on News Channel 2 at 5:30, Dr. Husty will tell us about an experimental treatment for breast cancer that is giving patients hope. An incredible find solves a 50-year mystery. Crews recover a fighter plane missing since World War II.
A scene of Halloween up north. Imagine trotting door to door when the cold winds blow.
Ooh. Contrast that with the weather here in Central Florida. This is a live look from our News Channel 2 Sky Tower. Chris has the 2-day forecast next.
What's important to America's families?
Taxes. I don't mind paying my own fair share, but I want everybody else to pay theirs, too.
And where do the candidates stand? Congressman Dave Weldon voted to preserve a tax loophole that's allowed millionaires to avoid taxes by renouncing their citizenship while continuing to do business here. John Byron says tax relief should be targeted to working families, not the wealthy. When it comes to taxes, there is a difference. Call and find out.
Jacobson Goodman, personal injury, medical malpractice.
She bought a new car. It was a lemon. She bought a new car, and it was a lemon. Coincidence? No. Same car.
It makes me real mad.
Scott Hansen and the investigators uncover Florida car dealers, recycling lemons to sell back to you. Don't get stuck. Watch Secondhand Heat. Tomorrow at 5 on News Channel 2.
Congressman Weldon finally woke up in Washington, but it was to attack John Byron. Here's what the newspapers are saying. Weldon appears to be in over his head in the U.S. Congress. Happily, the people of the 15th District don't have to settle for a Gingrich follower anymore. The better choice? John Byron. John Byron has the grit and guts to make a positive difference in Washington for the people of the Space Coast. The 15th District needs a leader with a commanding sense of direction, a balanced outlook, and a degree of independence. John Byron.
Look who's dressing like the nanny. Plus, Barbra Streisand's new boyfriend on Entertainment Tonight.
Wednesday at 7 on Channel 2.
Ooh, look at that. Whipping winds pounding several cities in the Midwest. In Detroit, street lights are out. Windows have been blown out of buildings. 70-mile-per-hour winds are reported in Chicago, where thousands are without electricity. Look at that. You know, I remember our producer, Kate, and I both grew up outside of Detroit, and we were reminiscing about not being able to just go out in your Halloween costume. You always had to put a coat over it so you couldn't see your costume.
Lansing is your hometown, am I correct?
No, that's where I went to college.
That's, well,
I grew up near
Michigan
Detroit.
State, so you were a Spartan.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
well,
here it's probably too hot to wear your costume.
Yes, it is. But make sure you have clothes on, because you could be arrested for the latter. Weather-wise, we've got 2 more beautiful days on tap for Central Florida, at least right in through Friday. We may see a few possible changes as early as Saturday or Sunday. Otherwise, though, the moisture is going to be limited, and that does not translate into any rainfall. So we are not going to see much in the way of moist tropical air. Otherwise, clear skies tonight, 68 degrees. The winds will be light and variable. If we do see any moisture, it will be low-level moisture, and that will give us some patchy fog. The Doppler radar indicating nothing in terms of rainfall from Jacksonville all the way down to Orlando, and that includes the southern third of the state from Miami down to Key West. This is the 150-mile live scan, and this is the way the radar picture should look for the next 24 hours. So let's move on to the southeast satellite. We'll set this into motion. You can see the gray shading right here. This is indicating the low cloud cover, which is dropping south in connection with a cold front. It has produced little, if any, in the way of rainfall. We've had some isolated showers showing up in the Panhandle earlier this afternoon, about 45 minutes to an hour ago, I should say, near Milton. Otherwise, though, most of the rain right up here in the northeast quadrant of the country, anywhere from New York City to Bangor, Maine. That's where the moisture has been throughout the day. The nation's midsection looks good, and we've had a few showers trying to develop also in through southern California near the Los Angeles basin. These have been drifting on to the north. Much of the